Today I want to talk about a three-part process that I have found to be extremely powerful. Each one of these parts by itself is usually what most people are talking about. But when you combine these three, oh my goodness, talk about manifestation power. Now, I do want to mention that it's not what you think, what most people think, which is, we need to do these things to get these things. It's not like that. And if I can drill that in to anyone's head, and this is what I do for my clients, is I first need to make sure they understand what it is we're doing, and more importantly, what we're not doing, and what we don't have to do. But what we do have to do is vital, but typically that is, 90% of the time, people are going down the wrong road. So my business clients in particular, so when I explain to them what to do, they're like, well, what else and all this? And I said, no, this is it. Now you switch your vibration. So let me give you an example. I just did really only part one and part two of the process before I even got to part three. Kind of work on part three all the time, so maybe it doesn't matter for me. But I was able to manifest over $9,000 in a very short amount of time. As a matter of fact, within an hour of me kind of finishing up part two. And by the way, these parts don't take very much time at all. They take really no time, but in relation to what you get out of them. So the idea of making it happen in here first is critical. So here's what happened. I do real estate investing, and obviously I do consulting for this. I'd like to do more consulting for this, and that's why I'm talking the way I am on this video, is to encourage you to call me or message me, because I know I can be of tremendous help. And if you just listen to this and do this, it's going to help a lot. There are a lot of permutations that come along with it that I may or may not be able to relay in this, because usually I try to keep these to 15 to 30 minutes, and that's about it. So I did my part two of this. I got a phone call, and I want you to pay attention to what the process did. I got this phone call, realtor called me. She said, Steve, I've got a house for you. I said, great. She gave me the address. I looked it up. I can make this offer on it. And she said, I'll present it. She did. There was a little back and forth. Cleared up a few questions that the sellers had. And within a short amount of time, they signed it. So that whole process may have taken an hour, okay? And then I made a call to a group that I know that sells these types of things. They have access to a lot of buyers with cash. I can buy into that program, but sometimes it's easier just to call them, and say, hey, what do you want to do? And they said, let's do a 50-50. And I said, okay, that works for me. And then, because I don't have to do much, and so they did, and within 4 days, they had it sold. I did very little, and then we started doing some wrap-up paperwork, and that took another hour, or maybe there's another half an hour involved. So let's say 2 to 3 hours total in this whole process. Now I'm lined up to collect over $9,000. And I like to say, that's not a bad part-time job, 3 hours for $9,000. I could squeeze a lot of those part-time jobs into a year, a lot. I can squeeze a lot in there. So that is the result of a portion of what I'm going to tell you right now. So the three parts to this process are, number one is create your visual image. Now, I know you've heard that over and over again. It's important to know what you want, but here's a differentiation, if you will. We're not trying to make that happen. We're not trying to be really specific with that. I want you to be as specific as you can when you're visualizing it, when you feel that it's possible. But the minute you don't feel it's possible, then I want you to step back and just adjust it until you feel it's possible. We're not really shooting for creating that particular thing. We're shooting for creating the feeling and the knowing and the having and the feeling of having it. All right, so part one is visualization. Part two is what I call releasing resistance and stepping into the now. And so what that is, and I've talked about it recently, I gave it to you in a 3-step process. And the first step is, number one, look around. Look at where you are. Look at where your life is. What's here that you like and what's here that you don't like. And there'll be all that because the universe is set up to deliver you contrast. You're going to get the contrast constantly. Don't think it's going to end. It's not. So get comfortable with the contrast. Get very comfortable with it. And realize that it's just here to make sure that the universe knows what you want. And you just need to ignore the contrast. So I'm looking around and I see everything. And I see, oh, these things I like, these things I don't like. So, okay, good. We've got that established. Now, the second part is to accept it. All of it. Every bit. The contrast, the bad things, what we call bad, the universe doesn't know we don't want them. It just gives them to us because it's part of the vibrational opportunities that are the vibrational buffet. What's available in life along that that's a 2-step process, if you will. And the first part of that is looking out in the now and knowing that you're the one creating it. But here's the important part of it. Know that you're the only one on the planet, on your planet. I'm just pausing so you can get your head around it as much as possible. You're the only one here. These other people, the ones that are close to you, are a direct reflection of you. The rest of them are just stage props, if you will. They're walking around, they're not really real. None of it is. Why am I saying that? Well, you have already said and agreed that this is all an illusion. The ancient writers, the writers of the Upanishad, called it Maya. And what does Maya mean? It means the illusion. This is basically the Matrix. It's a video game. And we've got to be able to treat it like that. Don't get so serious about it. Life is supposed to be fun and easy. It's a game. It's a video game. Let's play the game. All right, but remember, it's just you on the planet. You're the one operating the controls of this video game. So that's saying, oh, wow, I'm the only one here. And I'm operating the controls. Okay, the second step of that third part is knowing that everything is brand new right now. So that means you're at a pivot point, right in the center point, where there's really nothing in the past and nothing in the future. Only you now, bringing whatever ideas and thoughts that you are bringing either from the past or you're creating right now. So my suggestion is bring those things that you like, keep those things going if you want to keep them going, but then replace those things that you don't like with things you do like, with the knowing that everything is new now. You're new. Everything you see in front of you is brand new. You have the power, as we just talked about, because you're the only one on the planet. And then also the knowing that anything that you do from this point is brand new. It doesn't have to be connected with whatever happened yesterday or whatever happened 2 seconds ago. Doesn't matter. So you combine those two things, which is the knowing you're only one on the planet, sorry about that, knowing that you are the only one on the planet and that everything is brand new, then, and you bring all that into the now and you stay intently focused on the now in the observer mode, because we're not trying to make anything happen. We're trying to release the resistance, stay in the now, in observer mode, because that's what your now is. You're not necessarily trying to make anything happen. You're just bringing in those feelings from the past. And now you're sitting there looking out and waiting and watching for the new possibilities to come along. The universe knows what you want. You've done visualization after visualization. You've reacted to this or that and the other. It knows. So all you need to do is just relax. It's supposed to be fun and easy. This is the fun and easy part, is letting it go, letting the resistance go, being in the now, watching to see what happens next. It's like watching a movie. But the only thing is you're in it, and you get confused about what role you're supposed to be doing. You're not going to make this stuff happen. You're going to pre-frame it, imagine it, and the universe is making it happen, and then bringing it to you and say, hey, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? And then your job is to say, yes, no, yes, no. Yes, I like all of it. And the universe is going to say, okay, here are the things you like. Now, we brought you some other stuff just in case, contrast. And you say, okay, great. Still don't like any of this. Oh, well, no, wait a minute. I like that thing over there. So you bring that into the mix and you say, okay, next. And wham, 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 billions of times a second. And so that's what we're supposed to be doing here on the planet. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed talking about it. I always do. Hey, if you think I can help, if you think I can accelerate your manifestations by making it fun and easy, I can do it. I mean, there's no question about it. I've done it many, many times in pretty much every area for a lot of different people. Business, of course, how to make money is one of the easier things to do. Creating health, that's really easy to do. It's hard if you're sitting there thinking, oh man, I've got cancer, or my body hurts, or this or that. Yes, from your perspective, it's difficult. I'll show you how to make it easy. You got to step out, and I'm going to tell you right now, you step out. If you're here this long, you deserve it. Step out of yourself, get to a level above yourself in the room or outside of the building, or if you're outside, just higher. You can still see through the roof because you're at a different vibrational tone. So you look down and you say, oh, okay. And you disidentify with that particular identity. And so now it's a game. And we're back to that. It's just a game. So if you think I can be of some assistance, I know I can. I've seen people, I've actually helped bring people out of the ICU and back to life. And now I want to clarify that too. I did not do that. Okay, I'm not really doing anything. I'm not making anything happen. I'm not trying to make things happen. I'm just the observer looking at it from a different perspective and suggesting that people look at things from a different perspective, and then they will have a different experience. That is it. There's multiple meta universes all around us. We're not trying to fix things. We're just trying to tune in to a different frequency. And that may be an understanding that most metaphysicians, most life coaches, most law of attraction coaches don't have. So I'm offering you a unique perspective, which is all that any of us have. So like, subscribe, tap the bell, message me if you'd like to get in on the fun.